So let's just take a little bit of a history lesson here. You know, digital marketing in the old days was a commercial or an ad, right? It was print digital, but it was digital, right? And you were in control of that channel experience. You knew exactly how many hundreds of thousands or millions of people you want to be exposed to something, and then some subset of that would buy. As things evolved in segmentation, the different channels of interest that people had, you could target a little bit better and get a bit better sort of return on that investment. And then search and banner ads evolved in such a way that you could really target things and shift from this notion of what we call advertising 1.0 or network 1.0 to programmatically focusing on one consumer. You know, the sort of MBA guy in me says the marketplace and the measurement system has evolved in such a way that the minimum efficient scale for designing a productive campaign is one person. We no longer go after 3 million people to get 1 million people to get 500,000 people to get 10,000 to look and call that a success. We model one person and then target that people just like that one person, 500 times over, right? It's a totally different model. We can measure the one and market to the one, right? And the reason Sellpoints can in a way that no one else can is, we bring together all this complexity and measure it. And the complexity we bring in that's unique is what people are actively looking at and actively purchasing. And then we measure that in a way that no one else does. And the way we measure it that no one else does is we say, how much did they do it? Everybody else kind of drops a cookie. They looked at this, they looked at that. Given the fact that they did it at all, yes or no, we think they're interested. What we do is we say, this particular user looked at this particular camera and 3 other ones just like it for this long. And we weight how interested they are by how much time they spent doing it. And because we can do that and have proprietary data touching 134 million people each month, we are really, really effective. And I'll talk about the ad spend performance with one of our programs. For every dollar spent on marketing, we're getting $10 of revenue back. That's not the standard. Not only is it not the standard because of the return, but the fact that we can prove it is different. And so what's interesting about us versus a lot of the other folks you see out there as well is, we're not an idea. We're not a company trying to succeed and trying to build out. We're already at scale. We've been doing this for 10 years. We just haven't been selling the value that we can be delivering. It's, we kind of lived over this, let's deliver the bits and bytes as a service. It's great. And then we cracked the code in the last year and said, oh my God, all this data can be leveraged to provide fabulous insights to drive more revenue, right? And it's not like we're doing it for a bunch of Me Too nobodies either. We're doing it for some of the biggest brands in the world on some of the top retail sites on the planet. And so as we unlock marketing opportunities for either one of these constituents or in between the two with co-marketing dollars, magic starts to happen. But, we all like to quote books. Tim Collins wrote this great book called Good to Great. And Good to Great, he says, the difference between good companies that became great companies and the good companies that stayed good or went bankrupt wasn't that they had better information. They learned how to take information and turn it into information that cannot be ignored. So that's great we have all the information and great we have the relationships and all these awesome companies have access to a lot of the same information. But what we do is we come back and deliver the information in a very clear and understandable way, and we organize it from an analytics perspective in a way that says, hey, look, here's exactly what happened. Here's exactly where you spent your dollars. Here's exactly what you did in a very understandable way. We do all the same machine learning, A/B testing, IMR charts, R-squared stuff too, and then we distill it down to something that a marketing professional that doesn't have a degree in mathematical econometrics can understand. It worked. It went up, right? And it went up, and here's my ROI. Perfect. Thank you, Sellpoints, right? And so this, again, these aren't, they're not screenshots. They're the real deal, right? So how real are they? Let's look at MacMall. We go with MacMall. What do? We stepped in less than a week, delivered a 71 increase in ROI. And this is on a small number. MacMall is the #2 selling site for Apple products in the world, second only to Apple. They do about $1.3 billion a year in revenue. We drove a 71% increase for them over the Cyber Weekend. That's real performance, and we prove it. Newegg with Logitech, really great pre-marketing campaign there. And by pre-marketing, we said, hey, these consumers, we built a list of just shy of 600,000 people that are hardcore gamers. They looked at very specific products for a certain period of time. We built some models around that and spent about $15,000 of promotional advertising and tied it back to $150,000 of revenue. That's solid. And we kind of have a blank check program with Logitech now to grow the heck out of it. And Newegg wants to grow it across their top 500 vendors. That's real value. Baby Center, this is the long, hard work of SEO. You come in, you do the work, you structure the site right, you get it to index properly with Google, you get free traffic. And then you get from free traffic, you get free revenue. That's by doing the work the right way. Very tactical, very long-term approach that you do in concert with good paid advertising.